Donald and I both attended Beaufort High School, and I'm pretty sure it was spring of 1971 when Donald tried out for the baseball team, the Beaufort High baseball team. I tried out. Donald made the team. I did not make the team, but I remember Donald, and I always went to some of the games. I remember Donald was a very good baseball player.
I graduated in 72. He graduated in 73, so I was a year ahead of him. And then we ended up coaching our sons on a coach pitch league.
Right.
Back several years back. It's probably been 20 years. I
Yes.
think the kids were about 6 and 7. Did you do any coaching at the high school, though?
Yeah, I was an assistant coach at Beaufort High
Right.
School when Beaufort High won the state
Right, I do
championship.
remember, yep.
And after
Yeah, you were the assistant when
That's
Daryl,
right.
my brother, played on the
after
team.
Mr. Carson
Yep.
retired, I became the coach,
Yep.
and I coached there for about 8 years.
Yes, I do
head
remember.
coach.
I remember that. I remember that. I just wanted to be sure I was right on that.
Right.
Okay. But anyhow, yeah.
It was great.
It was.
He's a good guy.
Yeah.
We've known each other.
Yep.
Share a lot of conversation during principal meetings and other meetings where principals are involved.
Very much so.
And
both
we-
homegrown. like I
homegrown
said.
and
Yep.
tend to have the same philosophy.
That is true.
Maybe some may call it somewhat conservative, but we have the same philosophy
There you go.
for most things. In terms of the strangest thing, I got a call one night that the fire alarm was on, and unfortunately, I got the call because nobody else on the list was available. I came to the school, this was about 4 or 5 years ago, and I was met by a sheriff department deputy. And we walked throughout the building. And when we got to the front of the building, when it was about time to leave, he left me in the building. And this was like 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. Very uncomfortable to be in a building alone, 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. So the next day I spoke to our resource officer and spoke to some of his colleagues, and I described the gentleman, and they said they did not know who he was. I described what he looked like. I said, no, we don't have anybody who looks like that. So when I spoke to my staff the next day and family members, they jokingly said, Mr. Burnes, that was a ghost. Boy, that was an eerie feeling. That was very strange. Nobody could, and I have never seen him since that night.
Yeah. So I guess a couple things that come to mind is we had a contest going on as far as to read 1,000,000 minutes, and a couple things that we did there, or I did. One, once we hit that goal, I ended up working on the roof that day. I was up on top, had a little desk up there, had my laptop up there, and worked the day up there. Thankfully, it was cool.
Right.
I could walk the building, look at the kids on the playground. But probably the funniest thing, and I guess it's not funny to the person, but I had to kiss one of these large iguana lizards after we did something, and unfortunately I kissed the lizard one day and it died 2 days later. so hopefully I didn't have anything to do with that.
Keeping students focused, especially when they come from situations that are dysfunctional.
Yeah.
We never give up on the students, but keeping them focused. And to be honest, we do know that there is, well, it has been documented that there's an achievement gap, especially among black males. Keeping them focused, keeping them realizing that they have gifts that they are not using, too many are not using. Highly intelligent, many are highly intelligent, but keeping them focused, especially when they're in a situation where they have a single mom or in a dysfunctional home, and also keeping the parents focused or keeping parents aware of what's happening with their children. We would like to see more parents become more aware of the children's academic performance as opposed to waiting until the school year is over, indicating that we'll just find out my child didn't do well. But those are some challenges that we face.
And I would agree too, Ed, as far as the whoever the caregiver is for those particular kids or guardian may not have had a good experience in school as well. And I think too, and another challenge we have is just we're resources to our staff, to our teachers, and so much is put on teachers nowadays. And I tell my teachers all the time they have the toughest job in the building, which they do. And I think those are some of the challenges too, just with the state requirements, district requirements, federal requirements, just the accountability measure, and the key thing we want them to do is get in that classroom in front of those kids teaching. So that's definitely a challenge, but just to be that resource.
Absolutely. Well, you recall that we were a TAP school. Many schools in Beaufort County were TAP schools.
Yep.
The thing that we were extremely proud of the fact that for all 3 years in which we were graded, we received a value-added 5, which is the highest score you can receive.
And I think too, same thing, Ed. As far as it's the people that you have working around you to help you get the school to those points. And I think there again, the TAP rating. We were very pleased with that.
Right.
The gold and silver awards that we've got hanging in the hallway, I think we've only missed that maybe 1 year. You've been here a long time as well. I've been principal in Mossy Oaks for 16 years, been in the building 29 years. So it's just longevity and just, seeing things.
Being in a situation where I can make a difference in the lives of kids,
Yeah.
that would be first and foremost, missing just being around children.
That's the truth. The daily interaction.
Right.
That's what we're going to miss most. I'm going to miss most as well. And it's just the idea that we just need to,
Right.
Eddie and I'll find time to be around kids. I've got 2 grandkids that I'll be spending more time with.
Right.
But like I said, that's the key.
Right.
The day, because that's what we're all in it for.
And actually, when the school year begins, I do plan to go into the elementary and middle schools in the Battle Creek cluster to do mentoring and tutoring, and to focus especially on the black male, the ones who are in situations where there is no father in the home, or the ones who have been judged to be in a dysfunctional situation. Even though I mentioned I'll be traveling to see most of the grands, I have some students at Battle Creek High School who have adopted me as grandfather, and I'll be checking on them as well.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, same with it. We'll do some traveling, but unfortunately, my 2 grands are right here in Beaufort. My wife's, she retired 4 years ago to be the stay-at-home grandmother, so she has them every day. So I'll be able to spend some time with them. Same thing, do some stuff in the schools, at church, but more on our time. You're never guaranteed another day, so just take advantage of the time that we have and just spend some quality time with individuals. And I love the idea that, from the mentoring standpoint. So we'll be busy.
Oh yeah,
We'll be busy.
I'm going to remain pretty active.
Oh, got to. Very much so. Very much so.